Segal. I'm like, I feel like I haven't talked to you, man. Good Lord. I miss you.
I know.
I gotta,
I
anyway.
feel it's true. I feel like I've been out of touch. I've missed the last couple of Fridays. Those dang court appearances getting in the way.
So you're still going into court with the same case or what?
Um, that, yeah, no, I actually had other clients I was busy in court with, for that.
Okay. They dragged you back in court, Jay.
Yeah, I'm in court every week for different clients, so that's normal.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of things that go on civilly, criminally. I do all kinds of stuff. The attorney referee work for the foreclosures. So I'm in court almost every day at some point.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Roundup. Rounduppers Chris Haskins raising your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. We've got Jessica Segal. What up, Jay?
Hey, hello everybody. Happy Friday.
Your favorite
Excited
day.
to be here. I've missed you guys over the last couple of weeks. We've missed each other while I'm out in court doing my thing. But there's been so much. I have such a huge update on my tenant from hell story for you.
Go ahead. So give us the backstory so we bring us up to speed, Jay.
Yeah. So, I mean, for months, I think we've done multiple videos on this. I had this tenant. She was a single mother with young kids, and she kept getting behind, and she would always give me some excuse, but eventually pay the rent. She always paid it late.
Her. I liked her.
Yes, right? She would always pay the late fee. But it was like I had to follow up every month with her on the rent, and I couldn't wait for her lease to be up so I could get her out. There was no way I was renewing the lease. Sure enough, the lease was up in August. I was like doing a dance. I couldn't wait for her to go. Now, it's really important. In New York, you're required to give notice now that you are not renewing lease. Okay. So you have to put it in writing. So, I mean, we had conversations and I documented it. I do everything with email or text message. So I have it in writing. I highly recommend that. Or if you really have a trouble tenant, record the conversation. You can legally record your own conversations without having a problem. So, so basically, it's the end of August, and she says, listen, I'm looking, I'm really trying hard to find another place. Can you just give me another month and I'll pay the rent? And so we converted to like a month to month, but I said to her, listen, you need to understand, I'm going to start showing the apartment. You have to move out or I'll start I have to start the process. So I protected myself by starting the eviction process with the understanding that if she's a holdover and won't move out, I can go forward. So I mailed her the non-renewal forms. I mailed her, the notice of the back rent that she owed me, even though we were talking about working it out. It is a sort of cash for keys type of deal. I made sure I filed all the appropriate notices. So she pays September really late, but she ultimately pays it and then sends me a text message like, I'll be out October 30th. I'll be out in the middle of October, whatever it was. I'm like, okay, great. That date comes and she's like, I just need a few more days. And it's like, if I go forward with the eviction, it's going to take 30 days just to get it on the court calendar anyway. So why pay for the process server and all this stuff, the fees to file it if she's going to leave? So it was like constantly this praying like, oh God, I really hope today's the day she leaves. So she does confirm she's almost all out. I've been showing the apartment so I can see most of the furniture is gone. All the beds, all the furniture, all the TV, all the big stuff is gone. There's some small piles here and there. Thankfully, there's no real damage. It just needed some cleanup. And I'm like, okay, listen, there's still piles of stuff in here. Are you going to get it all out or what? I have a new tenant ready to move in. I don't want, I can't legally just put her stuff on the curb. Like it was like, did you abandon it or are you coming back? You can't just go change the locks. That's illegal. And it's now a crime in New York. Even if you
didn't pay, you can't even change the locks.
That's correct. You cannot take self-help measures. I could have been arrested for a crime if I just went and changed the locks.
It's criminal now?
It is a new misdemeanor crime in the state of New York to take self-help measures and change the locks or put people's stuff out on the curb. Right. So but this was my saving grace. I had her daughter's cell phone number and I had her uncle's cell phone number because I had dealt with them in the past. So I highly recommend, if you find yourself with the contact information of other family members for your tenant, keep that information. So I call the daughter and she confirms that my tenant basically went into the hospital and that's why everything's not there. Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So this makes perfect sense. Okay. Obviously there was some drug issues going on. This is why, yes, which is why someone who has amazing, I screen. So you look at their pay stubs. She had a very good income. So it makes sense now why she's paying late every month. She's not handling her bills properly, even though she has a good job, because she's obviously having some other issues. So I said to the daughter, listen, if I apply for a warrant of eviction, it's your stuff in there. It's going to be on the front lawn. Like, what can we do? How can I help you? I turned I'm empathetic and I have sympathy. This is, these are young girls whose mother is now trying to get herself together in rehab. Wow. What am I going to do? So I call up the uncle and I'm like, hey, listen, I need a favor. I know this is not your responsibility, but she's got some personal things in there. Is there any chance you can get it out and I can just, change the lock? So he was great. He got everything out. Then he got me in touch with my tenant's mother. Tenant's mother said, thank you. Yes, everything's out. You can change the locks. So, I gave them the time. I worked with them. And I think because I did show that a bit of compassion, I ultimately got her out. I changed the locks. I hired somebody to clean it up and it's ready for a new tenant this weekend. That being said, I realize that I created my own monster by giving her that leeway. The very first time I taught her that I will give her that room, right? And so it's human nature. If you know your landlord's going to give you that room, you're going to pay the other bills first.
That is so true.
So going forward, when I screened my tenants this time, I was very upfront and I said, look, I just want you to know, with it 5 days late, I'm starting eviction. I don't want you to take this apartment and move in unless you understand that that's how I do business. If you think you have a problem paying on time, don't take this apartment.
Wow.
And I got to tell you, a lot of people were like, okay, thanks, but no thanks. And they left when I did that, when I had that conversation. I had two people who, a few people who were like, hey, listen, of course I'm expected to pay my rent on time. Where, how do I start the criminal background check? Let's move forward. But I put it right out there. I put it out there as the very first conversation we're having. Look, I've been burned and I'm not making that mistake again. It's
terrible.
It is. It was honestly so stressful because I'm trying to run, my law practice. I'm trying to take care of my family. I have my rental property. The last thing you need is to take on this extra stress. And could I hire someone to take care of it? Yes. But I have to tell you, I haven't had the best experience with property managers and they charge a lot of money. And I know I can do it myself. I just have to prioritize the time. So I know you saw me stress these past few weeks. And I just had to say no to other projects so I could deal with this. Because at the end of the day, it's my investment. Okay. It's my property. Nobody's going to care about it the way I care about it.
Nope. No one cares.
So the good news is it was a long road, man. It was a long 14 months, but I'm finally done. The apartment is in great condition and I'm ready to get a new tenant who's going to enjoy the space as their home before the holidays.
At least you didn't trash it being a crackhead, you never know what drug user.
Yeah, I have to say, I have no idea. I've been in there multiple times. It was always clean. There was never evidence of drugs. I would never have known that was the problem.
Wow. Very good.
So I have to say, even when they removed their stuff, There was absolutely no evidence of drugs in the
Great.
apartment.
Great.
Everything
Great.
was in perfect condition. So I was really lucky, and I'm very grateful for that. I know it could have been worse. I spent a couple of hours with a garbage bag throwing out some stuff they left behind.
That's nothing.
It's nothing. Some basic cleanup. I replaced some things that were damaged. Small things, blinds, window treatments get damaged, things like that. I changed the locks, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, it'll be back on the market, and Godspeed.
Good. That's cool.
Yeah. So I'm really happy because I avoided the headache. My biggest fear with going forward with eviction is it is a slow process. And if someone knows you're evicting them, they're not going to pay. And so it could have taken me 2-3 months with no money coming in. And I still have to pay my mortgage, my taxes. I still have to pay all that. So,
every month.
Yes. So my lesson going forward is on that 5th day, that's it. The notice is going out. And in New York, there's a new requirement. You have to send by certified mail on the 6th day a reminder notice. So they've added another hurdle. And the notice just says, hey, by the way, your rent's due. That's all it says. And you have to send it by certified mail. After that is when you send the pay or quit with personal service or nail and mail. So they're just making it harder and harder and harder for landlords to run their business. How about you? How is yours going down? What are you doing?
Oh yeah, hold up before we talk about me. I feel like the government, I don't think about managing my rentals as much as the government does. Why the hell am I sending you a reminder your rent due? I mean,
right.
This crap is due every month, each and every month. I mean,
right.
Where is this coming from?
Absolutely.
Where is this stemming from, Jessica?
Well, so the legal services department came in to do a training for attorneys a couple of weeks ago, and they represent people in court for free for in housing courts. And their position is that oftentimes, there really is unfair housing situations or discriminations, or landlords are not providing safe, habitable apartments. So the laws are designed to deal with what we, the slumlord we refer to. But who's really getting punished are the really good quality mom and pop landlords, So I can't even begin to understand why. Why someone gets even more protection for not paying their rents, right?
Wow.
I mean, think about it. It's like you said, any bill. If I don't pay any of my bills, there's no reminder. There's just a late fee added to my account, right? A finance charge, a late fee. If I don't pay it, it's shut off. Right. I can't legally shut off water. I can't legally not put oil in the oil tank. I can't legally change the locks. My only recourse is to do the eviction after multiple, like at least 6 days, then a 14-day pay or quit before I can even apply for eviction. So you're talking over maybe 2 to 3 weeks before you can even ask the court to evict your tenant.
Big.
It's very tough. It's very tough. And look, every one of us struggles. Every one of us has financial issues, right? Yeah. But we handle it, right? We control where we budget and spend our money so that we're responsible. And so, tenants have to be the same way.
I feel like you're one of my business associates in Brooklyn. I feel like your value is going to be going down up there, Jay. What do you think?
I know that that's what people are concerned about. I buy my properties in neighborhoods where I myself would want to live in a good school district. So I am very selective in the property. It's why I only have a couple. I think if you're looking to get hundreds of doors and be really large, you're going to invest in different areas, and you're going to have more issues, and you're probably going to have a professional property manager on staff to take care of all this stuff.
That's true.
But I could see it being an issue. But I do think with these new laws, and it's happening everywhere. I saw California is looking into it, all Florida, all these other states are looking at rent control laws. So it's more important than ever to make sure you're, maintaining property in an area that you're familiar with, and that you have really good screening and property management procedures in place for eviction if necessary.
The only thing I really had, I mean, I know it's 12:20 already. The only thing I'm going through the same thing. Oh, I wanted to stay the framework. I got an eviction notice here, but people treat you how you let them, and my lady is 2.5 months behind. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a great guy. Like you, I think you really care about people. You
Yes.
give people more chances, and it's almost like they just keep going, Jay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true. They train you, right? And so when you are naturally, I think, a compassionate person, you
Mhm.
can occasionally get taken advantage of. But for the most part, I think you and I live that way. And
Yeah.
so every once in a while, we're going to get burned. But the good thing is, we plan for it, right? So I'm sure you have reserves in your
Oh yeah.
account to
Yeah.
plan for when these things happen. So,
Absolutely.
at some point in the rental process, you have to be prepared for a situation like this. It is eventually going to happen. So
Period.
you have to have reserve money so you don't get caught
Yeah.
with no ability to pay the bills if you have this. Um,
Okay. Well, that's all I
so
really
how
have for
long?
you.
I
But
guess my question for you is, how long do you think it'll take for the eviction process where you are in Virginia?
oh, I know it takes 60 to 90 days. So I'm looking at the dates here. I filed it on October 20th. My court date is until November 18th. So it's
Okay.
30 days to get, and they're already,
Yep.
I mean, they're
Now,
already,
do you personally go and try and knock on the door and talk to them, or no? Like,
yeah,
do you
yeah, I will.
try other
Oh,
things
yeah.
first?
I've been
Okay.
talking to them like, hey, I'm just letting you know that the procedure is going on, but we'll stop it as soon as you pay. They know that.
Okay.
Yeah, they know. I'm like,
Yeah.
just pay, but I have to just get this ball rolling. Not to mention you're 2 months behind. I mean, what do you want me to do?
Right.
So we'll get
Absolutely.
after I get if I get possession, I got 10 days out before I can even file for possession. I'm sorry, file for the writ, right? We call it the writ of possession here. So if I win the case, I got 10 days before I can come back to court to file for the writ. And then I got 3 more weeks before the sheriff puts my piece of paper on their stack in their office.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like no one's waiting
Yes.
to help me get my tenant out. They're like, where's that
Yeah.
file? They don't give a crap.
I laughed, actually. I forgot to tell you. I thought this was funny. I go in to do the final inspection and clean up, and like I said, I was really lucky. There was no major damage, and
Yeah.
for the most part, it was pretty clean. And I look in the bathroom, and they stole the shower head. The shower head is gone. They stole it. Like, of all the things to take, like, why would you take a shower head?
Well, it might have been broken.
Um,
Just use. Some people just use the water. They don't even if it breaks, they don't even call.
I guess, I don't know. I laughed.
That's
So,
ghetto.
yeah, I went to Home Depot last night to get my new shower and all the little things that go along with it. But I'll keep you posted on my progress when I get a new tenant in there.
Cool. All right. Well, I was
But all right. Well, it was great talking to you and everybody else out there. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Jay, I didn't talk to you, but yeah, let me chime out and are you gonna be available on the phone later today?
Yes,
Okay. All right. I'll
definitely.
call you.
Okay, sounds good.
Good to see y'all.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye bye.